Welcome to my small resin print farm. You can see that I have 8 resin printers that I run for my business, and in this video we'll go over those as well as the rest of this equipment and the considerations that were taken to run this as a business. Over here I have storage for the parts, I have packaging for shipping, and other machines that I use on and off for the rest of the business. But today we'll be focusing on this side of the room, which is the resin printing side. Now first of all, resin printers wear gloves and take the air quality into consideration. I wear these masks, this one actually, because it's the most fitting for me and the most comfortable over a few hours. I wear them every time I enter this room, apart from this video. And in addition to that, I have an extraction point here, there, a third, a fourth, fifth, and a sixth extraction point that all go here to vent the air outside. Now I can control how much I pull from each station by opening or closing these gates that are all connected to this motor that is currently off for the audio of this video. But if it wasn't for the video, this is running all the time, and I vary the intensity but depending on the task at hand, and I vary which one pulls more depending on what I'm doing. Generally, I open this one a lot because here I have a lot of IPA, and that's the worst for safety in terms of fire and for your lungs. But yes, I have 8 printers. You can see that 5 of them are the Elegoo Mars 4 DLP printers. I have 4 on top, and I have 3 Anycubic Photon D2 printers. All of these are DLP printers that I've gotten within the past 2 years. Now, why DLP? Well, the longevity of the projector, and because I needed really high tolerances. I make parts that need to interface switches for mechanical keyboards, and now I'm making these that interface the switch and the keycaps, so I needed really high tolerances. And these DLP printers offer 50 micron resolution with really sharp pixels. So by doing anti-aliasing and really controlling the air temperature in the room and controlling the post-processing, I'm able to actually achieve 20 microns resolution with these machines. So a huge thanks to Derek from the Lychee team. His tutorials are just amazing. Like, between the experiments and what I've learned from him, that is how I can achieve these results and get all of these keycaps to get such a reliable fit over time. Which, I mean, I do have failed keycaps. Like over here, this is my failure bins. Sad to say, but yeah, it does still happen, and I'm still in a process of understanding what impacts the tolerances and the weight of that impact. For example, did you know that soaking your parts in IPA for too long swells the parts at first, but then when you let it dry, it shrinks more? So yes, being in IPA too long has an impact on the tolerances, but also the strength of the parts. So speaking of which, once the keycaps are printed, over here I have to unload these. I unload them onto this plate with the scraper, and then we take them to the cleaning station. Now yes, you might notice I have ultrasonic cleaners. And yes, they are filled with IPA. Now this is hazard. This is hazardous. It comes with a risk. IPA is flammable. Ultrasonic cleaners do increase the evaporation of IPA. But like, no, the cavitation of the bubbles doesn't create sparks, which it doesn't make it combust. But having these machines basically makes a lot of IPA evaporate, and that is why this fan is always on. Pulling in new fresh air and reducing the percentage of IPA in the air is critical, such that there's not like the air combusting. IPA on itself can catch on fire, but it's like a small candle, like a huge candle flame, but you can just smother it with the lid over here, and I have a fire extinguisher nearby. And in addition to that, to mitigate this risk, I have all the outlets connected to the switch, such that I can just cut out the power in this entire entire shelf if something were to happen. Now I have 2 buckets. Initially, these 3 were one cleaning station. I had a 3-stage cleaning from the dirtiest to the cleanest IPA, but now that I'm running this Soraya Tech nylon white mecha resin, it has a white pigment that is so potent that the contamination of the IPA leaves white specks on my black prints if I don't use different cleaning baths. So now I have these 2 are one cleaning station for all my keycaps, and these 2 are specifically for my white mecha parts. So it's a dual stage cleaning process where I put the parts 2 minutes in the swirling bit and 2 minutes in the ultrasonic cleaning bit. And once the parts are cleaned, I bring them to this drying rack, which is just like a laptop cooling thing, and then I bring them to this modified toaster oven. Now I had modified this like 5 years ago, and back then I was using this to reflow circuit boards. Like these are circuits that I designed and made, and I would reflow them into this toaster oven. But now I have this toaster oven set to 60, and I do not never trust this dial for these ovens. They're not meant for what I'm using it, but I modified it to get a better reading of the temperature, and I've dialed it in so I know that this is close to 60. Now it dropped a bit because I opened the door. But once the parts are dried, I bake them for 30 minutes to 60 minutes, and this impacts the overall strength of the parts. And that is critical because in these keycaps, the shock stems in particular are very small, and I need these parts to be durable and not crack. So increasing the strength by baking it does make a difference. Then once the part is baked, I UV cure it for the duration that resin needs. And speaking of resin, one of the reasons I have these many printers is because, yes, I do print a lot of keycaps. Like, as you can see here, like I have 10 levels filled like this, and I go through a few sets every day, but I also go through different colors. And swapping out the vats for different colors and different resins all the time is not feasible. So each printer has a dedicated color. Now, some of them I'm running in parallel the same color because either I'm testing a lot or I get a surge of orders in that specific color. But I have this many printers to handle more colors, and you can see right now I'm mixing a batch of custom blue. And all the vats that are not being used, I still store the resin in that corresponding vat. So you can see here, if I put this here, if I pull this vat in the red shelf and I open it, you will see red resin. So yeah, storing vats and storing resins in their corresponding vats and always pulling air from there is really a nice quality of life. I'm really happy about this. Another good quality of life for a resin print farm is using this pump. Now, when I have dirty IPA, I pump it back into the recipient and I deal with it. Like I'm putting it aside and I am distilling it. And then I take the new IPA and refill my containers. Now, if you were to have these ultrasonic cleaners, you know that they are heavy, and tipping them over to empty them is just not really good. So having this pump to get the IPA in and out is really nice. So yeah, I think this covers it. Oh, another note. All the resins, I try to store them in these bins. These bins have a foam seal, which is not perfect, but it does cut out a lot of the smell, because when you're using these resins, you're inevitably going to have a bit of spillover on the side of the bottle or on the threads, and it does smell. Putting all my resins into these bins makes a difference. I have more over here, and now I actually have too many, so I need to buy another bin for this part. And for the really smelling compounds like these UV inks, I use one that has a tighter grip and a silicone seal. Now these inks are for this other machine, this UV printer over here that I can pull in and out. I think this covers it. If you have a specific question on something you've seen, please let me know down in the comments. And if you're still here, drop a like. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.